for safe needle disposal. The city already collects more than 20,000 dirty needles every year.
You're watching CBC News at 6 from Calgary.
Alberta gets a lot of grief for being the country's biggest producer of greenhouse gases, but the energy industry doesn't get much credit for trying to reduce emissions. The Alberta oil patch is a global leader when it comes to controlling natural gas flaring, and as Dave Sims reports, the World Bank is so impressed with the program they want other countries to adopt it.
Natural gas flares in Africa, so big they can be seen from space.
This is one of the largest collections of gas flares anywhere in the world.
Companies burn gas associated with oil wells when there's no domestic market for it. Alberta faced this a century ago. The poet Rudyard Kipling described Medicine Hat with its gas reserves as the town with all hell for a basement. In the 30s, the province started to regulate flaring. It now has a voluntary system where companies, landowners, and environmentalists collaborate. 96% of all gas is conserved. In the last 9 years, that saved 7.2 million tons of carbon.
That's equivalent to 1.5 million vehicles off the roads in Alberta for an entire year.
And that is attracting world interest.
There are some places in the world where oil is produced and virtually no associated gas is flared or vented.
Featured in this documentary, broadcast on the BBC.
It contributes significantly to global warming.
The World Bank has taken up this cause, trying to encourage investment in a low-carbon economy.
That's very similar to what was done in Alberta, and now we are trying to take it to other countries around the world.
Countries like Nigeria, Russia, Angola, and Brazil.
This gas is often burned next to communities that have no electricity.
Already, it's led to small-scale projects to generate power.
This model can be applied in countries around the world, but what it takes is a willingness.
Global flaring produces huge amounts of greenhouse gases.
Almost 400 million tons of CO2 being emitted each year.
In other words, if we did nothing but cut flaring around the globe, that alone would more than meet the targets of the Kyoto Protocol. Dave Sims, CBC News, Calgary.
World Bank officials are meeting with the Brazilian government this week. The World Bank wants Brazil to try the Alberta approach. The man heading up the province's royalty review panel is defending its work. Bill Hunter says the panel is listening to all of the testimony before deciding